Oh, yeah, yeah. When you get in your car, baby, gotta drive far, and you gotta try to stay alive. All you gotta do, all you really gotta say, hey, what am I gonna do? Gonna put on some Jive Talkin and get on through now. Jive Talkin, my brains. Gonna love it again, another episode. You're gonna motherfucking love it, love it, love it, love it. Say, Jive Talkin, my friends. Jive Talkin. You gotta learn those half notes. Jive Talkin, my friend. Motherfucker, yeah, motherfucker, let's jive. I gotta figure out those between notes. I think they call them between notes. You know, on the piano, you got your full note, your middle note, your between note, your down notes and stuff. I always get the off key. I can't seem to manage to hit the right note, so it sounds good on there. But I will continue to try. I will do the very best that I can. How you doing? I mean, how rude of me to come in with a keyboard and a soloing and doing all that when I haven't asked you how you are. How's life? How's everything going for you? How you feeling? Are you doing things to better yourself or worsen yourself? Are you putting yourself in a pit of despair? Or are you digging yourself out of the hole? I heard a song called Diggy Diggy Hole today by, what was that band? They were kind of Viking band. Just the goofiest damn thing I'd ever seen. Diggy Diggy Hole. Anyways, all over the place here, but welcome to Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo. It's the only podcast that you should win a prize if you make it to the very end of the episodes, because I understand, so much love and appreciation, and thank you if you've subscribed, given 5 stars on Spotify, and said, you know what, this guy, he's all right. Getting into the episode here, Paul Stanley. Now, this is very interesting to me because they played their final show, Madison Square Gardens, and at the very end, the very beginning of the show, he says, we're finally going to end it where it all began. And then at the end of the show, he said, we ain't done yet, right? And then they showed this image right here, some video footage or simulated, whatever you want to call that, of the avatars. They're going to go into the multiverse and Vector 7 and all of it as these 4 characters. I find it very interesting, and I made remarks about this, that in the virtual world, Peter Criss and Ace Frehley will be played by Erik Singer and Tommy Thayer. That's their faces. No damn dummy in the world could say, you know, if Paul gets in this interview and he goes, that's actually them. That's not Erik and that. What are you talking about? Because it is them. So maybe that's what he's thinking about it. Or maybe he doesn't care at all and whatever. Let's get into it, shall we? Kiss fans got the wrong impression. Paul Stanley says Kiss fans got the wrong impression initially of the avatars. Initially would only mean that we've only seen that from them, haven't we? Just the last concert there, the little blip that they played, maybe they put that little piece online, but in a new interview with Ultimate Classic Rock, Paul Stanley commented on the skepticism from some of the Kiss fans with regards to the band's recent announcement that the legendary rockers will continue as a digital avatar in Vector 7 and all multiverses throughout the universes. The technology originally developed for ABBA's Voyage show in London, which we talked about, will allow Kiss to stay on the road in retirement. The 4 members of Kiss played their final show as humans at Madison Square Garden in New York City on December 2nd and revealed they would be continuing as avatars to be deployed in ways yet to be revealed or even scientifically created. Right? They're going to reanimate. If someone says, we got that reanimation juice, like in Reanimator, we got it, it works now. They'll say, plug us full of it, we'll stay around. And then they say, by the way, guys, we're back out on the road. One thing that's interesting is people, I think, perhaps even understandably, got the wrong impression initially of the avatars, Paul told Ultimate Classic Rock, because At the garden show, we wanted to give people a glimpse of something, of some things, or one of the things that's to come. But the avatars are really in their infancy. See, that's what I'm talking about. Scientifically, infancy. They're far from where they end up in terms of look and purpose. The purpose ultimately is not that we're being replaced by flying avatars. It's just another way of diversifying what KISS is. He continued, quietly, quite honestly, and I hope you don't mind if I'm quite honest, many times in the last 50 years, people have scratched their heads about what our plans were, and 9 out of 10 times they've been successful, and other people have followed. So that's nothing really new. We're in a fortunate position and a unique position of being a band that can do things that other bands can't do. So to not explore and take advantage of many of them would be, I don't know, ridiculous. And also, really, at this point, mystifyingly, we worked this hard to create 4 icons. Come on now, Paul. We worked this hard to create 4 icons and a band that's iconic. The characters are very iconic. The people that was molded into the characters. Oh, down the wrong hole. When you're doing Paul Stanley, you get sloppy in the throat. You get silly sloppy. I better. You just get super sloppy. To maximize what we've created would be crazy, crazy nights. Early in the month, KISS guitarist Tom the Tom Man, Diddy Tom Thayer, told Guitar World magazine about the avatars. It'll take some time to get the imagery where we want it to be. I have really thought about it, what it all means. I haven't really thought about what it really means in the big picture, but with technology evolving as quickly as it is, there's no doubt that this is the direction a lot of entertainment is going. Last month, KISS revealed the fans will apparently have to wait more than 3 years to see the band's first Avatar performance. Please don't put that song, Yeah, Yeah, Yeah in there. Take out all the the dumb songs and put all the good ones in. If you're going to spend all this money and stuff to create these avatars, to sing those songs, do good songs. Don't do, yeah, 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 wow, yeah, yeah, yeah. Just none of that, please. You've already got Tommy and Erik's faces in there. You might as well just be playing all the good stuff. Is that mean of me to say? Is it? Last month, KISS revealed that fans apparently waiting December 22nd, KISS released a short video announcing that a show featuring the KISS avatars is coming, oh yeah, in 2027. The band captured the film, the clip, 50 years. 50 years is a long time, yeah! And what the future holds, oh boy, is in the making. The KISS avatars were created by Industrial Light and Magic. They are very good at everything they do. If you've seen everything you've ever watched with your little peepers on the television screen, they've probably had a finger or a fist in it. And we're financed by by Swedish. Speaking of Swedish, we've got a Swedish fella coming up here in a minute. Let's get on to him. One thing about Ace Frehley real quick, though, okay? We're not going to go through that Paul Stanley stuff no more. We're on to the Ace man, Ace Frehley. Because I saw a story, he says he's ain't going to make it over to Europe because he owes the IRS money or something. So I'm like, what? I thought the Space Ace was all up in the books, in the good books. You're telling me look at that face right there. That's a face that you could put back over there in New Jersey and say, yeah, what do you got, buddy? What do you got for me, boss? You got to chain him behind the car, take him down to the railway yards. Okay, boss. That's what I'm seeing in that face. He explains passport issues, which have kept him from touring Europe. Okay, that's what it was. I owe the IRS a couple of $100,000. In a new interview with Marco, that's a name, Sirahala. Marco Sirahala of Chaos Sign. Former Kiss guitarist Ace Frehley was asked about the passport issues, which have kept him from touring Europe in recent years. He responded, well, there's a good chance I can make it to Europe in late summer if I get my passport renewed. I've been having issues with renewing my passport because I have some problems with the IRS. That's Internal Revenue Service. And it's not really that passport bureau, but the IRS, since I owe the IRS a couple $100,000. Why, and they just instituted a new law that if you owe more than $50,000, they won't renew your passport. Luckily, I have some really smart attorneys working on it. And there's a way around it. So hopefully, I might be able to get my passport within 2 or 3 weeks. Who knows? If that happens, I will be in Europe this summer. If it doesn't happen, I will be in Europe next summer. But I'd love to be there this summer because it's been too long since I did all the festivals there. Back in 2013, Daily Mail reported that Ace was losing his home in Westchester County, New York, after bank foreclosure. Oh, really? I didn't hear bank foreclosures. A bank foreclosure on it because he had paid his mortgage. He hadn't paid his mortgage in 2 years. Ace. What happened? Why, Ace? At the time, he also reportedly owed nearly $20,000 for taxes to the county, the town of Yorktown, and the local school district that he didn't pay in 2011 or 2012. As of a decade ago, does this guy have a charity open? Let's make sure, donate to the Frehley's Children Can See Again Fund, come on now. As of a decade ago, Frehley, sometimes I go into Frehley and then people get pissed. Dude! Frehley also reportedly owned 2 other properties in town, including a vacant lot. That's where we bury the bodies. For the past few years, Frehley has lived in Sparta, New Jersey. I knew it. I knew he'd be a Jersey boy. Yeah, what do you got, boss? What do you got? You need his fucking chainsaw his fucking nuts off? You got it, boss. You got it, boss. With his fiancée, Laura Cove. That's a nice name. It's a lovely name. It's, 8 letters total. It's great. Ace will release his new solo album, 10,000 Volts, on February 23rd, 2024, via MNRK Music Group, formerly E1 Music. The official music video for the LP's title track, directed by Alex Kovatasos from Black Wolf Imaging, was released in late November. And we did that on the channel. And we enjoyed it quite thoroughly. I think it's a perfectly fine song. Ace's next all-original album will be the follow-up to Spaceman, which was released in October 2018. Let's get off that and on to uns little Swedish boy, Erik Grönwall. You might know me from the great band Skid Row. That's right. Erik Grönwall, he's going to be the bigger man here, because you can see Sebastian Bach, who's had a bit of eye work done. If I'm looking, I'm saying he had that little tuck where what they do is they incise you right around your ear, and then they just pull that skin back a little bit, and then they sew it, then they cut off the excess and sew it back. Now, I'm not a surgeon, but I have a good, idea about it. But Erik Gronwall they're gonna say, Skid Row, old Sebastian Sebado, he really gives you a rough time, doesn't he? And this guy's gonna say, you know what? I love him. I went on that voice show, Sweden's Got Talent, and he played I Remember You from Skid Row when he was a young boy. He loves them. He loves this guy. He idolizes him. Let's see, Skid Row singer Erik Gronwall. I have nothing but respect for Sebastian Bach. Put that on Blabbermouth. Sebastian read every damn word of this. And then he went and listened to the podcast. If there's a podcast, he listened. In the latest installment of his YouTube video series, oh, that's right, Erik Gronwall, in which he answers questions submitted by fans, Skid Row singer Erik Gronwall was asked how he feels about being constantly compared to the band's classic era frontman Sebastian Bach. The 36-year-old Swedish-born vocalist responded as transcribed by Blabbermouth, I'm going to say this. I'm a fan of bands myself. Bands that have had different singers. I come from a perspective that I also have a certain singer that I prefer you always end up. As a fan, you always end up comparing different eras and different singers and different songs and different albums. That's part of being a fan. We have our preferences. We want to discuss with each other. That's part of the game. My accent's going everywhere. I don't care. That's why it is so fun to be a fan, and follow bands. So my answer is this. I really don't care if I'm compared to other singers. He continued. I think it's just part of the fun. And people will always have their preferences and their opinions, and that's okay. I mean, do you know how much it would suck if people didn't talk about your band? Because I've been there. I've been in bands where people don't give a stink. Skid Row is so blessed to have such a dedicated fan base. Even if you're a fan who really, really, really wants a reunion, that's still being a fan. You're a fan of that era. Having people talk about you is the best. It's the best thing that can happen for your career. As an artist or as a band, if people don't talk about you or if they don't give you shit, you're nothing. So I don't care at all. And then he's always going to be completely honest. He said you got to be completely honest. So I'm going to be completely honest. When I see you guys discussing, arguing, commenting, comparing, I just bring out the popcorn. I bring out the popcorn. I love it. So keep discussing it and keep talking. That's a guy right there. He just brings out the popcorn. He says, oh, really? Jesus. Okay, let's get on with it. I'm going to have some popcorn. I'm going to sit here and enjoy you damn bastards. I wonder if he sat down and watched one of my videos and had some popcorn. That'd be kind of cool. Asked if he's spoken to Sebastian at all since becoming the frontman of Skid Row, he said, nope. I haven't. And I'm not going to say this. And I'm going to say this. I have nothing but respect for Sebastian and what he did on. And what he did on. And what he did on. Especially the first two albums. And what he did on, especially the first two albums. Because they're my favorites of mine. I grew up listening to those albums and practicing my singers to those albums. Yeah, he was practicing his singing to them. So and then he went on the show. So what he did on those albums, and especially Slave to the Grind, it's according to me top 10 best vocal performance in rock and roll history. I love that album. I love that album. If I were to meet him somewhere, I would love to shake his hand and introduce myself and say, thank you for your inspiration. Obviously, I've seen posts where it says he's jabbing at me. But that's just fun. And he's got popcorn. He's got popcorn. He don't care. He don't need it. Late July, Sebastian once again took a lighthearted jab. He took a lighthearted jab at his former bandmates in Skid Row during his solo concert in Escanaba, Michigan. The 55-year-old rocker who hasn't played with Skid Row for more than two and a half decades. Jesus, why am I reading like a moron? Made a thinly veiled reference to Gronwall before launching into the Skid Row Classic 18 in Life and to the Northern Lights at the Northern Lights Music Festival. So this song started it all for me when I sang it on Swedish American Idol. And so you did not sing it on Swedish American Idol. I sang it on Swedish American. No, you didn't, man. My whole life changed immediately, man. All right, man. This song's called 18 in Life, motherfuckers. Sebastian previously made the same joke about Skid Row during his October 22nd, 2020 show set aboard the Kiss Cruise. Prior to performing 18 in Life, what did he say? Did he say it again? Is it a canned response? Prior to performing 18 in Life during the All Hands on Deck Super Jam of Kiss Cruise with bassist Todd Kearns, yes, we know him, Brent Woods, drummer Brent Fitz, Sebastian said, "This song started it all for me, man. Like 2 years ago on, might have heard this show, Swedish American Idol. This is a song I want you to sing along the words. This is called 18 in Life." He left off the mother effer at the end of that. You want to know why? Children on the cruise. That's the Kiss Cruise. They have fans from 2 to 82. And so you can't say nasty words. So you just say the songs. A little bit more of this. We still got Maxi. No, we're done. We're done because I wanted to hear from Max Cavalera. Just really quick. Max Cavalera's here. What a great guy. I have mentioned before I saw Soulfly. I was about a 44-something-ish year old man. I went to a Soulfly show at a pretty big kind of bar. And I'm sitting there, we got the big tall table, and I got my pitcher of beer, and I'm telling my buddy I'm half loaded, and I'm like, you know what? I'm fucking going in the pit. And he says, don't go in the pit. Don't do that. Because, 44, you're an older man, and it was fucking brutal. That pit was brutal. But that's what, liquid courage does for you. And I was in that pit and I am not kidding, less than 5 seconds before my leg was hyperextended and somebody whom I don't even know was dragging me out. And I got up and my leg was throbbing and I got over to my table. And I'm not kidding. I got right over to my table and went to take a swig of beer and the whole pit came through and tore out our whole table. Beer's gone. I'm down on the floor. It was just... What I thought was interesting about this Max Cavalera story was that he says he has not listened to any of the Sepultura records since he left the band. So I just wanted to maybe dive into that a little bit. It says Max Cavalera hasn't heard any of the albums Sepultura recorded after his exit from the band. I have no interest. In an interview with Scott Itter of Dr. Music, Soulfly main man Max Cavalera was asked if he has heard any of the Sepultura albums that were recorded following his departure from the group. He responded, as transcribed by Blabbermouth, I haven't. It's like people say if you break up with your wife and she marries somebody else, you don't really go on Facebook and go see what they're doing. Keep your distance. I feel kind of like that. So I have no interest. I got a lot of stuff to keep me busy.
I don't need to listen to that shit. It's a fair question. And I'm so sure a lot of people wonder about that. But yeah, I haven't heard anything.
I'm really digging myself a hole doing these voices and stuff. I'm really digging a hole. Max previously addressed the question of whether he has heard any of the music from Sepultura recorded exit of the group. Are they just redoing this? The group's 3 decades in 2015 interview with Sticks for Stones. That's a good name. Kind of whimsical. Sticks for Stones. At the time, he said,
Fuck no, I don't give a shit about Sepultura or what they're doing. I just heard of, for fans that people don't like their albums and they're shitty and the band's just going down and down and down, and I don't know, I really can't care less what they're doing. It don't concern me at all. I got my things going, and for me, it's just so sad to see a band that was so important, especially in the 90s, to turn to shit like that so fast. But whatever. That's what they're doing. But I got my things. I got lots and lots of things to do. I got my things to do. And I'm proud of what I did with them. We did a great records. We did cool stuff. And that there's forever, and that's there forever. And I leave it at that.
Asked if he would still call his former bandmates in Sepultura friends, Max said,
Not really. Not really, because there's a lot of animosity and bad vibes in that camp, and a lot of bad things happen between us and them. So, yeah, I wouldn't, man. I really don't care. Like, life goes on. For me, I got my things to do. It's like, I'm more focused on the moment, what I have in front of me. And I have a lot in front of me, I tell you that. I got a whole lot. I got a lot of projects. So I got to move on forward.
He ain't kidding. Because he's got a lot of good shit, right? Go Ahead and Die, and he had Nail Bomb and Soulfly, and now he's doing Cavalera, Conspiracy, back with his brother. He's got a lot of things going on. Let's just read this brief thing, and then we're going to keep moving on. Sepultura fell apart in 1986 with the exit of Max after the rest of the Brazilian four-piece split with the vocalist, guitarist, wife's Gloria, Max's wife, Gloria, as their manager. Max's brother, drummer Igor Cavalera, stuck around with the group for another 10 years before leaving Sepultura and reteaming with Max in Cavalera Conspiracy. See, I do not tell lies and fibs and lies. What's this? One more. We're going to talk about Mick Mars too. Max discussed the possibility of a classic Sepultura lineup reunion in February 2023 interview with Thomas S. Orwatt Jr. That is one hell of a name. Thomas S. Orwatt Jr. Of Rock Interview Series. He said,
I'm very, very, very busy right now with all of the projects.
Oh, he's going to name his projects, guys.
Because I got so many things to do. I got Soulfly being my main band. Then we got Go Ahead and Die with my son Igor. And Kill or Be Killed, that's good too. Yeah, he's got that.
Kill or Be Killed.
I told you, Shane, I got so many things. I'm doing so many things. And I'm already playing a lot of old stuff with my brother. That, to me, right there, it fills the void. Anyway.
All right, we're done. We got to get on to Mick Mars. No, I'm not doing a voice for him because that would be rude and mean. And people would shame me. But, he's just a guy. He's just a guy. You know what he is? He's a guy that I think won his lawsuit. That's what I think he is. Against Motley Crue, or they're heading to arbitration or something. That's what I wanted to look at. Look at this picture right here. I love this. There's it going, dude, ain't it going to be so great when the Crypt Keeper's gone, man? It's going to be back to like the young days when we had so much fun, because Granddad will be gone. And we'll get that young buck in here, and he'll liven up our lives again. That John 5 alive. Freak, yeah. And then Vince says, yeah, it's going to be neat. Mick Mars, lawyer, has told Rolling... Okay, breaking news, guys. Beep, beep. Mick Mars' lawyer has told... I thought when you have a name that would have double S's, and maybe I've been wrong the whole time, but you don't need the S. Is that a thing? Instead of saying Mick Mars's, you say Mick Mars, lawyer, has told Rolling Stone that the issue of whether the guitarist was illegally severed from Motley Crue is heading to private arbitration later this year. When Mars, a co-founding member of Motley Crue, announced his retirement from touring with the group in October 2022 as a result of worsening health issues, he maintained that he would remain a member of the band, with John 5 taking his place on the road only. However, he filed a lawsuit against the band in April 2023, saying that after his announcement, the rest of Crue tried to remove him as a significant stakeholder in the group's corporation and business holdings via a shareholders meeting on Zoom. You can fire, isn't that great, that Zoom? You fire that right up. You say, as soon as he says, hey, puts that Instagram post up, I just called the guys and told them I'm retiring from the road. They'll get on Zoom. Fuck him. Let's get him gone. Let's take his... Just instant. You can do it right away. Oh, yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Pardon me. Jesus, am I just a savage? Specifically, Mars claimed he was asked to sign a severance agreement that would divest him of his 25% stake in the band's various business interests in return for a 5% stake in the band's 2023 tour. 5% stake? Okay, so this is the tour where they got John 5 and they're rocking. It's like, we'll give you 5%, bro. He's just going to get up there and play all your licks. This stake, the lawsuit alleged, would be reduced to 0% for future tours. Mick claimed Crue's management later upped the offer from 5% to 7.5% stake in the band's 2023 tour, which would remain contingent on Mars divesting himself from the band and their businesses. When Mars refused to sign those, I refused to sign those papers. The band took the dispute to arbitration rather than a public lawsuit so the public, Jesus guys, I'm gassy now. I drank too much of that drink. I got another one right here. Pop it like it's hot. Pop it like it's hot. Let's see. What were we rattling on about? When Mars refused to sign them goddamn papers, the band took the dispute to arbitration. When Mars refused to sign the papers, the band took the arbitration rather than a public lawsuit in the front of the fans, deplorable manner in which they treated their brother of 41 years. Mick claimed in the lawsuit. Where is the part where I thought he won the lawsuit? When they wanted to get high and fuck everything up, I covered for them, Mars told Rolling Stone in an interview last year. Now they're trying to take my legacy. Oh, hey! My part of Motley Crue, my ownership of the name, the brand. How can you fire Mr. Heinz from Heinz Ketchup? That's fucking, he's right on the money there. He owns it. Frank Sinatra or Jimi Hendrix legacy goes on forever, and their heirs continue to profit from it. They're trying to take that away from me. I'm not going to let them. That's true. That's something I never thought about. Is making sure that you're, once you start getting up there, that all of your family and stuff is covered and the money continues to roll in your fair share. That's a very good, I never thought about it. Oh. We're just take a minute here for some deep stretching. Do some of these belly dancing. There we go. There we go. All right. I think we're done with this shit, right? Mars' lawyer, Ed McPherson, told Rolling Stone that the judge's ruling on Tuesday, January 16th, that Motley Crue took too long to produce some of the documents he requested confirms his client was mistreated by his bandmates. Finally, somebody somewhere told these guys they can't bully Mick anymore. We're in the middle of a huge arbitration that will ultimately decide if Mick has to give up his shares or not. If they did things properly or not, obviously we claim they didn't do anything properly. But they feel that they are above the rules, and nobody is above the rules. And that's why this lawsuit was about McPherson said. And that's what this lawsuit is about, McPherson said. I'm still trying to learn to read. At 50 years old, I'm still trying to learn how to read. It's okay. This was them feeling their way, feeling deep down in. This was them feeling their way above the rules. And this judge saying, no, you're not. And you may have given all the documents now, so there's nothing left for me to do, but you're going to pay for it. The judge added, I think that's a pretty huge, that's the lawyer. Ed McPherson's back. He says, I think that's a pretty huge victory for Mick. If they want to claim a victory, that's fine. That is fine. But this is someone finally telling Mick, no, you're not crazy. These guys are bullying you. And we're not gonna take it anymore. You got to say that. And we're not gonna let it happen. This is getting good now all of a sudden. Mick originally sued Motley Crue so he could go over all the financial books and determine if he was getting what he felt he deserves. Mars, whose real name is Robert Allen Deal, served as Motley Crue's lead guitarist since the band's inception in 1981. Last year, a short time after Mick filed his lawsuit, Motley Crue's manager of 30 years, Alan Kovac, told Variety that Mars decided to publicly voice his allegations to gain leverage in a smear campaign on Motley Crue. He's attacked the band, and he's done it in a slanderous way, dare I say. With false accusations and a misrepresentation the facts to the fans, and misrepresenting by and by the facts to the fans. Mick is not a victim. Oh, Lordy, please help me. No. The victims are Motley Crue and the brand, which Mick is so prideful of. But, he added, what's upsetting to me is not Mick, but his representatives, I declare, who have guided Mick to say and do harmful things to the brand he cares so much about, and that's Motley Crue. He has a degenerative disease and people are taking advantage of him. It's called elder abuse. All right, we're done with this. This guy's going to keep going on and bad-mouthing Mick, and we don't want to have no more. Freaking dude, we're going to love it. Life's going to be so great. It's so weird to see Vince with a guitar on, isn't it? It's just strange to see it. Did he play guitar on that song? Was it, what was that hit that he had? Remember Vince Neil had like a actual solo record that was kind of good? Like there was some good... Was that you? You're invited, but your friends can't come. It is time for your comments. And I took a peeksy doodle here, and my little peeksy doo eyes didn't see Mike Buchanan and his dad jokes and all of that. So we wish you well wherever the hell you're at, but we've got our comments. And it's a fine cavalcade and set of fine folks here. And we got your comments. We're going to get to them right now. Would you like to have, if you've made it this far in the podcast, congratulations. And if you'd like to see your comments here, you just got to put them on the episode that you're listening to, if you're listening to it on YouTube. And then you put your comment below. We'll read it the next time. Unless it's something rude and you're telling me that I'm ugly. Tell me something I don't know. We got our good old pal, Whitebread, coming up. And he says, when Marty joined Megadeth, I was like, cool. They're getting the guy from Cacophony. Yeah, there's a lot of you folks that we've done a little bit of Cacophony, but I had no idea that Marty Friedman, and I cannot remember the other fella's name, but didn't know anything about that kind of stuff. Bang, there's your heart. Our pal Oscar coming in here. Oh, Bruce Dickhead's Mandrake project will be on BMG, question mark? Well, the good news is, Oscar, you'll be able to get it for a penny, along with, 9 other selections. Oh my God, I didn't even read his next line. I swear to God, I did not even know that was there, unless I subliminally noticed. Here's what Oscar says. Awesome, I'll tape a penny to a postcard and send it off. He's talking about putting a penny. It used to, the BMG or whatever used to do the 10 tapes for a penny. And the deal was you sign this thing in and then you got to buy like 3 or 4. But no one ever bought them. Nobody ever bought them. You'd end up with stacks and stacks of cassette tapes from them. It was never really a kick-ass selection of albums on there. But wow. Oscar says, I'm about 1/4 from finishing my unauthorized autobiography of this puke and the details surrounding the tragic accident Patty endured as a result of his shenanigans. Oscar is on, I hope that's real if you're doing some kind of investigatory 6-part series on Netflix. I love them. Surrounding the tragic death of Miss Patty Dickinson, because I'm still in the dark on all of that. I don't know what's happening with any of it. There's your heart, my friend. Miss Althea coming in here. She's got stuff. So here we go. The Dumbstruck Fool says, David Draymond. She's talking David Draymond. Going public with a relationship less than a year after a split from his wife? Okay. Is that smart? As you said yourself, the piece read more like the chick's resume. Yeah. Place your bets, folks, and all I can think of is the title of an old country music song by Crystal Gayle, I believe. Why have you left the one you left me for? Why have you left the one you left me for? I'm trying to think of the song. I understand what she's saying there. I don't want you guys to think that I'm like an absolute idiot, but I was just trying to, that song. What was her big hit? Because I remember she had one big hit. While I wish him the best, I will not be surprised if you are covering a follow-up to all this by episode 121, if not sooner. She's saying he might end up breaking up with her before we get to another 9 episodes. Interesting. Miss Althea on Kiko Loureiro. Okay, I think we get it by now after umpteenth interviews that his family is his priority, and I applaud him for that. He is definitely in a minority as too many other rockers' families paid a price. His wife and children are truly blessed to have such a dedicated husband and father. Amen. Miss Althea on John 5 and his Metallica picks. That piece was all over the place and it gave me a headache. And to basically base all of this rumblings on a Coca-Cola analogy, a Coca-Cola analogy. Yeah. Because he's saying, I want my classic Coke back. I don't want shitty classic Coke, but I want the OG Coke back. Give me that. I don't want to change it. Yeah, okay, I guess it was a slow news day and there was nothing better to talk about. He played with Rob Halford in 2. That's the name of the band, okay? But it had some wacky spelling like, oh, that's kind of interesting. So it's the number 2 W-O is the way they spell it, or something like that. Yeah, okay. That does look familiar to me now, like I've seen that. If that logo was kind of all swooshy and it's kind of hit me in some weird way, but I've never seen it. I don't know what that's all about. Let's see. Miss Althea on Death Angel. Rob's Metallica musings, and I repeat, was it a slow news day? While my personal knowledge of this band is quite narrow, I do know that Hide was a big fan, and Act 3 was his favorite album by then. So, to that end, I would say you are in good company. It's just a great record. It's just got a feel to it that it's fantastic. Miss Althea on Bruce D, the D-Man Dickinson. I stopped listening after the mention of Mystheria. That's the bass player that plays in his solo band. For the Mandrake Project. Do I do a lot? I feel like I breathe a lot. Like, you know. Let's see. Mystheria sounds to me sounds too much like Miss Althea. Ooh. I was wondering what the hell I had to do with anything. Well, I'm sure you'd let us know if you were the bass player in freaking Bruce Dickinson's band. Oscar might want to talk to you. Might have a few questions to ask you. Miss Althea on Blaze Bailey. Put this man on Broadway. We did a video this week and I put it up and it's called Here's Why Blaze Bailey is the Champion of Heavy Metal. And you go watch that and then tell me that he shouldn't be on Broadway. Miss Althea regarding Kaja Gugu's Too Shy and where I sit on it. Hey! That one, what? And where I sit on it? That one would be a yes. And it is still an 80s fave. So Kaja, okay, so it's good. Did you know that Nick Rhodes of Duran Duran discovered them? Oh, really? And produced their first album, which included Too Shy. Did they put out another album? That song was huge. It was like Madonna huge. Like it was like all the teen Tiger Beat was going crazy for him. Let's not forget about the blonde black mullet debate between Lamal and George Lynch. They looked a hell of a lot like. You're right. Who wore the look first? That might be an investigation. We might have to dive into that. Was his name Lamal? I thought it was Lamar, but Lamal. That haircut fits a Lamal. I think you got to go with Lamal on that, no matter what, because George Lynch, a guy named George Lynch could have any damn haircut he wants. A guy named Lamal, he needs to have that haircut. They were both sporting it in 1983, so it is literally a matter of splitting hairs. Miss Althea on Jason Becker was Marty Friedman's bandmate in Cacophony. Yes. Is he the one with the sad story with the amazing guitar player? I can't remember, but I'm feeling like, yeah. Thank you for that. Jason Becker. And with Marty Freeman. Okay. Miss Althea, you never heard of Bill, Brett, and Mark, the Hudson brothers? Bill Hudson. That sounds familiar. I had a huge crush on Brett when I was a little girl. They were a musical trio relevant in the 70s and were frequent guests on many variety and talk shows. They ultimately became kiddie preteen idols. I watched their Razzle Dazzle show. I never heard of that. Not Hour, as I misspoke previously. Religiously on Saturday mornings. Mark is a producer these days and has worked with the likes of Aerosmith. He co-wrote their hit Livin' on the Edge. No shit. I love it. I love little nuggets like that. I was going to keep on reading. That was the end of it. He co-wrote the hit I'm living on the edge. You can have yourself a home. I'm going to tell you a story that is, as I'm snapping away and kind of fading out, I'm going to tell you something, and this doesn't leave the room. But that video, We're Living on the Edge, is that the one where he paints half his body and he's cupping his goodies? You know what I'm talking about? Go watch the music video, but he's cupping his goodies and stuff. And I remember way back then, guys are sometimes, you want to know how big your stuff is, and you're always kind of going, is it too big? Is it too small? Is it just the right size? What, your penis. I'm talking about the penis. Okay. But in that video, I watched that and I'm like, he's got all these grapes and everything in one hand. And so I'm kind of going, and then you go home, you got to put the song on, of course. You got to, We're living on the edge. You get completely naked. You don't have to use the paint, but you just kind of cup your stuff and see, you say, yeah, because I'm pretty sure Steven Tyler, wearing them stretchy pants all the time and stuff, is comfortable with his manhood. So if he can grab it all in one handful, then I'm doing all right as well. And that was the measuring. That's the way you do that. And I apologize to anyone that's ears are burning right now. And a happy belated birthday to Oscar. Embrace the big 5-0. I'm almost 8 years ahead of you. And trust me, it is nothing but a number. That's what I want to hear. Thank you for that. I need, you start getting up there and then you just start thinking about life. What have you accomplished? Was it all worth it? Was it all worthless? Was it all, But you know what? You live right in the moment. You focus right in, right here, right now, what you're doing. Look at my hands. Here I am. I'm in the moment. And then you'll start to feel like life is just like, all right, whether I got 5 more or 10 more or 50 more years, if you're living now, living in the moment and being the best that you can be and being who you are, you're going to have a great damn life. You're going to have a great damn life. Getting a heart, and by Joe, you're getting a thumb too. Miss Althea, there you go. So informative and so fantastic all the time. And Bacall, I'm going to say Bacall here. He's a new fella. I've never seen that avatar before. He says, what was the burst of air when Axl Rose slapped the microphone into the floor in 91? Well, this avatar there, he's got his hand on his chin like this, like he's thinking the question. So maybe he's just asking the question. I want to say that big, because you hear him, he goes, thanks to the shitty security guards, I'm going home. And he throws the microphone down. And what it sounds like to me is that because he has that big muffin top. He likes those big muffin top things on there. But when it hit the floor, it was like a hard reaction through the speaker. But very good. Let's see what happens with it. Maybe you're going to get some replies down there, my friend. Bacall, there you go. Bacall 1965. Bang, there's your heart. We out. we're gonna leave now. This thing is over for this week. But don't worry, because I'll be back next week with another episode of it. And if you can make it through, by God, you're the soldier I'm looking for. I don't know what this is going to do, but I really want it to do something that I would like it to do. Let's see. I need... Come on, baby, come on, baby, come on, baby. Oh. Wish these things had melodies. When you come to the one, to the come to the one, to the jive talk, to the jive talk. When you come to the one, to the come to the one, to the jive talk. It's a jive talk, it's a hard rock, it's a heavy metal hard rock jive talk. When you come to the one, to the jive, to the talk, to the jive, to the talk, to the having fun. When you come to the one, to the having fun and fun and the fun and the jiving time and talking, rocking, here we go and having rockin', rock and roll. Jive baby jive, 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 jive. When you come to the one, to the hun, to the ba 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 ba, let's jive.